Hey guys, hope everybody is doing well. Many of you may be just relaxing on this kind of closed day for many businesses and government entities and all of those things. But I thought it was a good time. Nikki does my hair. Hey girl, hey, how are you? Let me pin a comment here on Instagram. Oh, that's not gonna work. It's got like a whole nother something from something I copy pasted before. So sorry, Instagram, no comment there. But you guys see in the title, hiring, what you don't focus on grows as well. We hear all the time that what you focus on grows, right? Hey, Sojo, beautiful, how are you, dear? What you focus on grows. But there are instances where what you don't focus on grows as well. And so I want to talk about that. And I want to talk about it from the space of hiring. And this conversation, yes, beautiful. This conversation that I'm going to have with you actually sparked from a conversation I was having with one of my girlfriends recently, where we were talking about business. I love talking about business, guys. And we were talking about superpowers. So, your superpowers are those things that you're really good at. And oftentimes you're not even aware that you're really good at those things. Many of you are just, operating and functioning in those gifts unaware, not knowing that if you uncover them and unpack them and cultivate them, they'll do absolute wonders for your business. But as I was conversing with her and we were talking about superpowers, so my girlfriend is an entrepreneur as well. And we both owned brick and mortar service-based businesses back in the early 2000s. And if you've heard my story, you've heard me tell you all that I'd helped numerous small businesses and entities in my local community where I lived at that time near my brick and mortar, but I wasn't charging anybody, right? I was just, people would ask me things about their business or I was volunteering information and, they were just winning, right? And so at this time, she's telling me about a particular situation when she owned her business. So my girlfriend's business was earning about $140,000 per month. Did you guys hear me? Now, this was back then. And now, if you do the math, for those of you who have millionaire goals in mind, it only takes $83,333 per month in order to reach your millionaire goals. So they were already doing this in their business. But in the conversation that we had years ago when we both owned the brick and mortar business, she was talking about what was transpiring and what was hard about her business and things of that nature. And I shared my then hiring system with her. And in about 2 months, their company's income doubled. Now I already told you guys they were making about a buck 40 a month, 140,000 a month, and that system I gave her for her business, double in about 2 months. They doubled their income from changing their hiring system. Now, when we were on the phone talking about it the other day, it came up because we were talking about superpowers. And so I do believe that, there's just this innate thing about business that, God blessed me with. I haven't been formally trained. I've been an entrepreneur for 20 plus years, but I do see patterns about every place that I worked, every person's business that I worked in. It would always flourish. And it would be, just a few things that I would share that I thought, they could do different, or not even telling them what to do different, but what do you think about this type thing? And so we all have superpowers. You have them. When you unpack them, uncover them, and cultivate them, everything, in your business and in your life will shift. And so I thought I would come on and talk about hiring. We had like this in-depth conversation. She actually shared with me that after I shared that strategy with her, y'all get this now. This is y'all coaches that's out there giving all your free intellect away. And maybe you'll understand why, I speak about you charging the value of your service or learning what the value of your service is, so that you're fairly compensated. But I was just giving this information to my girlfriend. Her business does amazing. And then she shares the same strategy. I think she named about four other businesses that their businesses just were soaring, right? Now, little did I know. Now, here, I'm going to interject for a minute from the hiring. And for those of you who may be coaches, not to say that you can't hire as well, but this is a life lesson. So imagine, had I charged her, right? Had she invested money, she wouldn't have given away those strategies nearly as easily. She would have referred me to those other companies, right? That would have been more business for me. That would have been more people understanding and knowing about my value. And so I do think there's a place in your business for free, but I think it's important that you really understand the value and the transformation that you're providing for people, because many times you're leaving money on the table. Okay, I'll get off of that for now and kind of get back to hiring. So as we were having this conversation, I thought about the fact that I don't come on and talk to you all about hiring a lot here lately. My hiring practices, my systems, everything I created in my brick and mortar system, I use with my private clients. I used to include it in my exceptional brand build profit mastermind, but I realized that not everybody was at that space that was joining the mastermind. And so now when I teach my hiring practices and the systems I've created, if they're in the mastermind, then I'll teach it to them when they have their private time with me. So they get the group time monthly, and then everybody gets extra private time one-on-one with me during the session of the mastermind. So I'll teach it then. So when I realized that I didn't have another area that I was like really teaching hiring strategies in, I dedicated them to, more of my VIP days. And so that's normally where, the hiring strategies and things get done. I actually have a client named Sheila. She owns New Look, who I helped with her new business. Some of you who come on may know her, and I'm not telling her business because we did a complete interview after she'd worked with me, but where I helped her with, some different areas in hiring. So today, I kind of want to talk about the importance of hiring, and if you are hiring, but you're kind of overlooking that aspect of your business, and then maybe wondering why you're not profiting to the level that you desire or things like that. I just kind of want to have that conversation about hiring, because I understand the importance of the hiring process. So number one, hiring impacts your profits. It impacts your profits tremendously. And a lot of people struggle in this area. For those of you who are new to hiring, you have not hired employees before, there, can be some fears around it. You got those I-9 forms and them W-2s and all those different things, that you'll need to, fill out in the process. And then there is, this fear about spending the money. But when I'm working with a client on their hiring system, I make sure we create a hiring system where the people that they hire are not, considered money that they're spending, but we hire them in a way where it's an investment, where they're actually bringing money into the company. And so that's one of the thought processes that you'll want to shift when you think about hiring, because if you always look at it as an expenditure, then there will be a fear around getting help in your business, or there will be this disdain even about the people that you already have. So number one, hiring impacts your profits. Number two, your hiring system and strategies impacts whether or not people stay with your company, right? So having a solid system for your hiring impacts whether or not people stay with your company. Now, this one is huge because, we've heard of branding in so many different ways, right? But I'm going to say this. Your hiring even creates the culture of your business, which entails your brand. So we aren't talking about logos and websites and pretty pictures, right? And I share this all the time. So when I teach branding, I don't teach it from the logo, website, pretty picture perspective, because that is not what your brand is. Those are collateral materials. Your brand is how the marketplace sees you. Your brand is how the marketplace sees you. And so they will identify you by the people that you hire, the thoroughness of the people that you hire, all the things. And so all of those areas of your business that you may not be putting emphasis on really creates your brand and the culture of your business and what people are expecting. Prime example, we can think about Chick-fil-A, right? So when we talk about Chick-fil-A, we talk about their customer service. We talk about how, and I have allergies, guys. And so for whatever reason, and maybe it's the lighting, because every time I come on, or maybe when I'm talking, I can, my allergies are cutting up. But when we think about Chick-fil-A, even, we often say how no matter what state you're in, their business is the same. No matter when you go or which staff member services you, the service is pretty much the same. And a lot of that is because of their hiring system. Now, I owned a brick and mortar service based business for about 10 years. And my first maybe year or more of hiring, I remember saying, these people don't want to work, and where did these people come from, and all of the things, right? And I know it was the Holy Spirit, right? That said, you hired these people. You hired these people. And so every bit of the people that you hire, that you actually allow on to your company, it's coming from leadership. It's coming from your ability to hire the right people for your job, right? I was sharing about my client Sheila that I worked with when she started a new business. We created a training program for, her staff, right? Created a training program for her staff. And I think this is an area, I think when people think about hiring, they more so think about, okay, they'll put in an application. I'll look over the application. I'll ask them a few questions. If it sounds like they fit the job, they have the job. And so when I got the message from the Holy Spirit that I hired the people, I also understood that I needed to learn to hire differently. And so what I did in that time frame is I created a hiring system, an actual structure. So it wasn't, I meet somebody, we have a conversation in the mall, and I say, you're hired, right? It wasn't, somebody referred someone and I just said yes. Everyone went through the same system. Everyone went through the same process. I can remember having about 200 applicants for one position. Listen, in my mind, I was like, there's no way I'm going to spend the time to take 200 people through this system. And so what I did first and foremost, I created a company vision meeting. Now, if you're hearing me about this, a company vision meeting is normally considered a meeting that you have for people who are already hired. But I developed a company vision meeting system that would involve all of the new applicants. So I had my current front desk staff, to call all the new applicants, and we had a company vision meeting. And the reason why I wanted to do the company vision meeting was because I knew it would eliminate some of the applicants who didn't align with the vision, who weren't qualified, who didn't understand the totality of what the positions actually entail. And it worked tremendously, right? And so I want you guys to know that most often when we open a business, we open it according to something we are gifted at, or a trade even that we are doing. And oftentimes that becomes our focus. If it's selling clothes, if it's selling houses, if it's um, doing therapy, if you're a consultant, real, whatever that thing is that you do, selling insurance, whatever that thing is that you do when you open the business, that is normally your focus. But there's so many other areas of your business that are super important. And I think who you hire is one of the biggest decisions that you can ever make. Well, actually deciding to be very intentional about having a process and a procedure for your hiring practices. So even my company vision meeting, the system that I created for that, that was not a part of the system that I had for hiring. I had a system before they got there, during the interview time, after they were, I'm going to say, quote unquote, hired, because no one was considered an actual employee until 90 days. And one of those reasons was because I also created a 40-hour training program that they had to walk through and prove that they, had passed the training before they were considered actual employees. And so to many people, it may seem like that's too much work and all of those things, but it's not. Once you have a system that's in alignment for the business that you're creating, once you understand that process, it's just something that you duplicate over and over, and over time you begin to perfect it. So here's a couple things I want you to think about when you think about like who you're hiring. If you're not getting the right people in your company, your business, or your organization, number one, elite talent wants to work with elite leadership. I'm going to say that one more time. Elite talent wants to work with elite leadership. I believe one of the reasons we had so many applicants to apply for that position was because of the years of things that our company was doing in the community, right? And so just understanding that it was a good place for them to work. And I believe that was the reason there were so many applicants for that particular position. And so when I'm teaching and talking to my clients about creating a unique hiring system. So although I have, a template to go by that we tweak and, kind of formulate it into how it's going to work best for your business, it's unique to your business. It's not the end all be all blueprint. It's a starting point and a basis. It's a framework that I use to help people develop their hiring system. But number one, you got to know that elite talent wants to work where there is elite leadership. And a part of leadership is how you are hiring, even, who else are you bringing on the staff, how the company is ran, how the organization is ran. Like someone who's really good at what it is that they do, they normally go places they've heard are great places to work. And see, we get things confused about being a great place to work. Like, it's super friendly. I treat everyone like family. I mean, I think that the of having a family friendly culture is definitely okay, but those aren't the only reasons that people come to workplaces. And most of the time, your most elite talent is looking for somewhere they can grow, which leads into the next thing that I want to share with you. Your vision for your company and your business needs to be big enough for this elite talent that you desire to fit their vision in. Your vision for your company needs to be big enough for great talent to fit their vision in. One of the things my mentor told me many years ago, she said, your best workers will eventually leave. And now that prepared me tremendously because, there are times where staff just doesn't stay or they're not staying around. She said, because they normally come to you with a really large vision anyway, and your place is a stopping point for them along their journey, right? But she also said, but if the vision of your company is big enough, it allows room for them to grow and be promoted or continue to excel and knock off things that are already on their own vision or that align with their goals, they will stay with you longer, right? And so your vision for your company needs to be big enough for this great talent that you're looking for to fit their vision in, because we all know that's just like for those of you who have a vision and a mission and things that you're wanting to do. It's going to decide who you even hire as coaches and mentors. It may be that this person may sound what they're saying is true, but if it doesn't feel like your vision fits inside of the vision that they have and where they're heading and the things that they're talking about, then it will just be entertainment for you that you're hearing. Does that make sense? The next thing is training is a huge part. Now, this is before, there's an before there's, your interview process. And then there's, onboarding things that I always suggest my clients to do. We had steps that we created that we walked people through as they entered or went through our hiring process. And so a huge part is training. And oftentimes we look at training as if it's just, kind of teaching them whatever the trade is that you're doing, which is really, really important. But they also need to understand how your business function, how your business works. So the more clear you are about the job, the easier it is for them to perform the task. Many people fear hiring or have had bad experiences with hiring because they don't want to micromanage. That's the reason that they're hiring someone else. But if they create a proper hiring system, then they don't have to micromanage, right? Another great thing my mentor told me was we don't manage people, we manage systems. So if you have the proper systems in place and then you're hiring according to those systems, then you aren't managing people, right? Your systems and things may need to be tweaked, but not necessarily like having to micromanage the people. And so I just wanted to share that if hiring is something that you're overlooking, you're avoiding, it's the last thing that you're wanting to deal with, and you already have staff and you're not fully happy about the staff that you have, the performance, or even the people who are coming to you for positions, then not focusing on it can also cause that problem to grow. Now we know whatever we focus on grows, but what we don't focus on in some areas can grow as well. So whatever the issues may be behind hiring, if you just overlook it, it's likely that those things will grow as well. If you are looking to create a solid hiring system for your business, it will impact your profits. It will impact how long people stay with you. It impacts your brand. It impacts your time freedom, your money, the growth of your business. Hiring is a big thing. I'd love to hop on a call with you. You can message me if that's something you're interested in getting support on, or you can schedule a VIP day with me. Those are the days I've set out. It's a VIP growth strategy day. Those are the days I've set out to help people more on a one-to-one basis, unless you decide to work with me one-on-one for like 6 months or a year. But that's how my opportunities are set up for people who aren't inside my either my coaching programs or my masterminds. And if you are like, listen, I've been following you, I know this is the next step and it's what I need, you can go to renewfullcircle.com/VIP. Let me see if I can. I'm going to just put it in the comments here. Hmm. It's not wanting to cooperate. Okay, I think that is in the comments. But listen, what you don't focus on can grow as well. But once you ever get your hiring system down packed, things will flow so much more smoothly for your company or your business. So if you've hired people and it didn't go well, don't give up on it. It's probably the same thing that was going on with me. I needed to learn to hire differently, and I'd love to support you in that area. What you don't focus on has the ability to grow as well. You guys have a good one.